The beetle in a box is a famous thought experiment developed by philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein in his 1953 book, Philosophical Investigations. The experiment is not about entomology, but about language, consciousness, and the impossibility of a truly private language. It's a critique of the idea that words get their meaning from an inner, subjective experience. Here is how the thought experiment works. Imagine everyone in a group has a small box. Inside each person's box is something they call a beetle. There's one strict rule. No one can ever look inside anyone else's box. They can only see what is in their own. Wittgenstein then asks, what does the word beetle mean? It can't refer to the object itself. The contents of the boxes are private and unknown to others. For all we know, one person's beetle might be a real insect, another's a spider, another's a thimble, and another's box might be empty. The word's meaning cannot be tied to what is inside the box, because the content is irrelevant to the public use of the word. If the beetle is the thing inside the box, the word beetle is meaningless to the group. The point of the experiment is that the beetle, the private inner object, is an idle wheel in the language game. It does no work. The word beetle gets its meaning not from what's inside the boxes, but from how the word is used in public language and shared behaviors. For example, maybe the word beetle is always used when a person grimaces and says, "Ouch, my beetle is squirming," or when they tap their box on the table. The analogy to private sensation. Wittgenstein uses this thought experiment to challenge a common assumption about how we talk about our feelings and sensations. We tend to think that a word like pain refers to a private inner sensation, a kind of mental beetle that only we can experience. We imagine that we learn the meaning of pain by looking inward at this private sensation and giving it a name. However, Wittgenstein argues this is a misconception. A truly private language for one's sensations is impossible. To have a language, you must be able to establish and follow rules for its use. A private sensation by its very nature has no public criteria to check if you are using the word correctly. How could you know if you are using the word pain the same way today as you did yesterday if there's no external reference point? The meaning of a word like pain, he argues, is not derived from a private inner feeling. Instead, it comes from the public, observable circumstances in which it is used. Wincing, crying, holding an injured part of the body, and the context of the injury. We learn what pain means by observing the behavior of others, not by peeking into their consciousness. The beetle in the box experiment ultimately demonstrates that language is a social activity. The words we use, even to describe our most personal feelings, are not linked to an inaccessible private world, but are rooted in shared, public practices.